Here is a first example. A machine operator has to perform two operations, turning and threading, on a number of different jobs. The time required to perform these operations are given. Determine the order in which the jobs should be processed in order to minimize the total time required to finish all the jobs. Also find the total minimum elapsed time and the idle time on each machine. So here there are n number of jobs and there are only two machines. Okay. So in this kind of a problem, how to find out the total minimum time to complete all the jobs and what is the idle time on each machine A and B. So there are two machines and this is what the time in hours they have given, which are the processing time of these particular jobs on this particular machine, and these are the time which are the processing time of all these jobs on this particular machine. Okay, this is clear. Then here we will apply some rule, that is Johnson's rule, to find out the best sequence. Okay, here they have given the sequence, that is 1 2 3 4 5 6. This is not the final sequence. Okay, here actually we needed to find in which sequence if we perform these particular jobs on this particular machine, so that we can able to complete all the jobs on each machine with the least possible time. Understanding? So here they have given the jobs and the particular jobs processing time they have given. So if we solve by taking this table only, then we won't get the minimum processing time. Okay. So in order to find that best sequence possible to have a least possible time, let us apply a Johnson's rule. Okay. So what is that Johnson's rule? First step is to find out which is the least processing time, okay, irrespective of the machine. Okay, what is the least processing time irrespective of the machines? Okay, so see here, out of these two columns, which is the minimum time, which is the least number? See, you can find it as a number 1, that is 1 hour. So 1 hour is what? It is the processing time of job number 6 on this particular machine, that is threading. So here this is machine A, which is on the left hand side, machine B on the right hand side. Suppose if the processing time is minimum, that is obtained on machine B, that particular job you have to do late as possible or keep it on the right hand side. Fine. Okay, see here. See here, they have kept number 6 job as late as possible or at the last or on the right hand side, whatever you can remember. Fine. So now this particular thing is over. Then after 1, which is the very least possible time, that is 2. You can observe here there are 3 and here 2. This is what? This is the processing time of job 4 on machine A. If the minimum time is on the machine A, keep that particular job as early as possible or on the left hand side, leftmost. Okay, here. So this is what? This is actually the table, sequence of table. Here they have numbered 1 2 3 4 5 6. There are 6 columns. Okay. So keep that number 4 as early as possible. So that is, in the second step we have got 4 and 6 on the right hand side. Then select the next possible time, minimum time, that is 3 and 3. So there are 2 3's here. Then which one we have to select? So very simple, you select any one. Okay, you can select any one. Take this or this. Anyway, both are on the different sides. No, this is on machine A, this is on machine B. That's why I will select this one. So now if the minimum time is on machine A, this particular job should be as early as possible or on the left hand side. So I will take job 1 on the left hand side. See, the job 1 is on the left hand side. After 4, next one. Then the next minimum is 3. That is on machine B. This is machine B, no? So take this 5 on the right hand side. See, after 6, right hand side is 5. Clear? Then only remaining is 2 and 3, no? Next, out of 2 and 3, which is the minimum? Minimum number is 5. 5 is on machine A. So take this third job on the left hand side. That is 3 here. See, 3 here. And only remaining is what? 2. That is the only vacancy. So keep the 2 here. So now after applying the Johnson's rule, we will get this is the sequence, and this is going to be the best sequence possible for scheduling the jobs. Okay. So understand very carefully that this step is going to be very, very important. Once again I will explain you. And one more thing is that if you understand this particular problem, I am sure that 75% of the chapter will be finished. Listen carefully. If you understand this particular problem, 75% of the problems or 75% of the chapter problems you can able to finish on your own. That I can guarantee you. So that's why I will explain you one more time how to find the sequence. Okay, first step is what? Identify the minimum time on any job, any machine. Okay, irrespective of the 2 columns, minimum time, that is 1. So if that particular minimum time is on the right hand side, that is this machine, then keep that particular job on the right hand side. Got it? If the minimum time is here on the left hand side, keep that particular job on the left hand side. Go on this way and occupy all the 6 values or 6 jobs, you can say. So this is going to be the best sequence possible now. That is 4, 1, 3, 2, 5, 6. After finding the sequence, see, after finding the sequence, just tabulate like this. That is 4, 1, 3, 2, 5, 6. And that particular job, what is the time? Again, you just modify this 2 columns. Okay. So don't copy same values which was there earlier, right? So modify the time such a way that this particular job, that particular row should come here. Then this row should come here. In that way, you tabulate like this. Then after getting this, you need to find the minimum elapsed time. We'll see how it is. Okay. Okay, see here. First what you need to do is machine A and machine B, and in and out you can take. Okay. So here first job, the job will enter at the 0th time, means initial hour 0. Then 2 hour time is the processing time on machine A. Just 2, after 2 processing time, at the second hour it will come out. Means that 4 job will enter at 0th time, and it will take 2 hours to process on machine A. Then it will come out at second hour, means after completion of the 2 hours. And one more thing, you can make another column here, that is processing time. Then 0, you take to this one here, processing time. Then 0 plus 2, 2. In that way also you can able to solve. Then go for next also. So first job, it will come out at 2, no? Then say take 2 here. Then first job, what is the total time for on machine A? That is 3 hours. So plus 3 here. So 2 plus 3, 5. Then 5 you take here. Then what is the time of third job? 5. 5 plus 5, 10. Like that you solve this. Okay. You will get 42. After that, machine B is going to be very important. Okay. Listen very carefully. So at the second hour, this particular job is over, no? 4th job. Then you take on a machine B. Once the 4th job is completed on machine A, then only you have to take on a machine B. So now at the second hour you have taken on the machine B. Then 4th job processing time is 6 hours on the machine B. So 2 plus 6 is equal to 8. Okay, 2 plus 6 is equal to 8. Then So here this is already machine A is free after 5 hours. You can take 5 here, but this particular machine is busy in the 5th hour. You cannot able to take. So out of this particular time and this particular time, which is greater, that you need to take here. Understanding? Okay. So now 8 is the process. 8 is the entry time. Then 8 hour it will take. See, 8 hour it will take to complete job 1 on machine B. So 8 plus 8, 16. Then 16 and 10, which is greater? 16. So take 16 here. Okay. Then 16 plus 9, which is 25. 25, 22, which is greater? 25. So 25 here plus 10 hours, that is 35 hours. Then 35, 31, which is greater? Again 35. So 35 plus this 3, 38 hours. Okay. Now very important, 38 and 42, which is greater? 42 is greater. See, why can't you select 38 here? Because this particular job number 6 is busy up to 48 hours. After 42 hours only, it should be taken on machine B. Otherwise, you cannot able to take, no? That's why. So, out of 38 and 42, 42 is greater. That's why you select 42 in entry time of job number 6. Then 1 hour on machine B. So, that will yield you 43 hours. So, this is the first question answer. That is, the total time required to complete all the jobs on both the machines is 43 hours. So this is the first question is over. Then idle time. How to find out the idle time? First you sum all this machine A hours. Okay. So 2 plus 3, 5, 5, 10, 10 plus 12, 22, 29, 22 plus 9, 31, 31 plus 11, 42 hours. Okay. The summation is 42 hours here. Similarly, sum all this. This is what? Processing time. 6 plus 8, 14. 14 plus 9, 23. 33. 33 plus 4, 37. So this is 37 hours. Now, subtract this particular processing time from the total time. So 43 hours is the total time required to complete all the jobs on both the machines, minus this processing time. That will give you idle time. Okay. See, total time only, if you subtract a processing time, you will get idle time, no? Rest time. That is 1 hour. Similarly, subtract this processing hours from the total time, you will get idle time for machine B. And even though I will tell you where actually this idle time you get is, see here. See 42 hours, within 42 hours, all the jobs on this particular machine A is over. See, very, very important, listen carefully. Up to 48 hours, this machine A was busy. But total time required to complete all the jobs on both the machine is 43. It means it has to wait 1 hour. Okay, in order to complete all the processing time. Means all the, you can say objective. In order to complete the objective, machine A has to wait for 1 hour, no? That is why idle time you get 1 hour here. And how did you get the idle time for machine B 6 hours? See here, actually up to 5th job, within 38 hours it is completed. But after 38 hours, it has to wait for another 4 hours, no? See, entry time of this is 42. It means that machine B was idle for 4 hours. Clear? It was idle for 4 hours. See, 38 is here. But 42 entry time means this machine B is waiting for job 6 to arrive for 4 hours. Then plus 2 here. It started from 2nd hour means up to 2 hours it was idle. So 4 plus 2, it is 6 hours. So this is the way to find out the total elapsed time and idle time. So if you understand this particular problem, you can easily solve the remaining questions in this particular chapter. Okay, thank you.